All right, all right. If you're here, let me know if you can hear me because I am using external microphone. Usually I do it from my cell phone, but it was being kind of weird today, so we're doing this way. But what is up? If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up in the chat. That would be great. Let me know how the audio is because we want it to be epic. Because you got to be able to hear me. If not, I'll just unplug all this stuff and we'll just do it different, you know? Yep, we're all hooked up the right way. If you're listening, give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. And what is up? So I have my chat over here so I can read everything that's going on. But I'm super excited. If you guys were with me on Wednesday, I did a live stream on Wednesday at the gym. So if you're there, first of all, I appreciate you. But second of all, a lot of fun, something a little different. So if we like that, potentially can do that again. It might be a little bit harder just because I like getting in the gym and listening to my music. If I'm doing a live stream, I can't listen to anything. So that's kind of sad. But okay. So welcome back to our Sunday live stream. Super stoked. Let me test that I can hear myself. Yep, I can. Okay, I had to test my sound on my other place playing it. But every Sunday we've been having a live stream that might shift after the Discipline Diaries because it ends on, week 8. We are only just finishing week 5. So next Thursday will be our 6th week drop, which is super exciting. I will continue to do live streams. The times just might change unless this is a really popular time for people to be coming on. But I'm excited for this one. This past week, we talked a lot about mental toughness in 2 different ways. You have not watched the drop that went out today. It is a tight 5 minutes, super powerful. And one of my favorite topics to talk about is mental toughness. And I want to talk a little bit about that in like real life today too. But I'll also be here to answer all of your questions that you have. I know sometimes they're super random, and that's okay. I'm here for it. So this is like that time that you get to ask me things in the chat, and and we kind of just go from there. But mental toughness to me, and I keep like repeating that phrase. There's a lot of different ways, I guess you could say it, but I like mental toughness. It is near and dear to me, something I'm very passionate about. If you did, again, watch my videos, I do talk about it in real life as far as the past, because it's not something that I grew up with this firm grasp on. I'm going to take these headphones off because I don't need them. I'm just going to make sure that the mics are good. So that's just, it irritates my ears sometimes. But it is near and dear to me. It's not something that I just grew up having or that was really instilled in me until a later in time. So college, military experience, corporate experience, even now. So the thing is, this idea of that toughness internally, it's not just like the workouts or like if you watch my video today, I'm like, oh, the running in the rain, waking up at 4 a.m., doing all this really hard shit, like back to back. Important, yes. Is that a part of it? Yes. But the part that matters most is who you are, your identity. So if you watch the video, that was the big secret takeaway. And it's not something we talk about a lot. We just talk about pushing past. And when I say we, I just mean in general in the world, what you see online, everything that you see is we talk a lot about the hard stuff, right? Pushing through the pain, pushing through to that next rep. And that's all a part of mental toughness. But the most important part is who you are on the hardest days. And there was actually a quote that I wrote down, and it's something that just happened to I have this like little calendar. So daily I have like new quotes, and they're like badass quotes and all this stuff. So the one that I had today said, mental toughness is doing the right thing on a bad day. And I was like, okay, so this just happened to really resonate with me. And sometimes when you're in alignment, things like that happen. Like you start seeing it. Does anybody have like angel numbers? And sorry if this is a little like all over the place. Sometimes I spark my own inspiration and creativity, but you start seeing certain numbers or patterns, or, I'm thinking about mental toughness, or how do I help other people understand that it's absolutely something you can build in your own life. And then that quote just kind of like surfaced, and I'm like, wow, that's what it is. It's like on a bad day when you're tired, when you're mentally exhausted. And trust me, I've hit that a few times. I'm taking a little bit I don't wanna say easier. I don't really slow down. That's not really in my wheelhouse these days, but it used to be. I used to, growing up, and I'm talking like high school, younger, it's like, you don't like something, you just quit, or you just don't see it through, and it's not that big of a deal. To me, that is like the biggest of deals. Quitting is like the biggest deal to me of everything, right? Unless it's quitting a bad thing. We're talking about the good things, like seeing something through. Like if I didn't even show up for this live stream, or if I quit the Discipline Diaries before the 8 weeks that I said, because it's hard, right? Because sometimes I'll have, it's like 100 views or 200 views. Sometimes I'll have, like, right now, I got 3 people on the live stream. It's easy to be like, screw this. It's not working. I don't see the fruits of my labor. Why should I do it anymore? It's pushing through in the times like that that really, really matter. And I'm not seeing any comments in the chat. So if you are listening right now, please drop something in the chat, making sure that everything is allowed in here, because usually everything is good, but I just want to make sure. Yep, live chat reply. Anyone can come on. Yeah, we're there. We're there. What's up, Manuel? Okay, cool. I was just making sure. I'm like, usually it's a little bit more popping at this time. But I just spent all day at the track with my son, so he's been riding around and all that. But it's like super hot out and like super windy, so I almost blew away with the wind, like freaking Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. So it's been a day, but I'm still here. So if you got specific questions, please drop them in the chat, and just know that I'm going to keep like rambling on about some things that we kind of talked about this week. But I'm here on these live streams to really answer your questions and for you guys to get to know me, what's on the horizon, because I keep hinting at what is to come, and I'm super excited for all of it. I did mention it on my live stream on Wednesday. That's like the only group that's heard it so far. So anyone right here who replays this in the future will know that I am working on an absolutely no cost training program. And this is important to me because the fitness landscape is growing, but so are the amount of like these online coaches, people with or without certifications, trying to sell you these perfect packages, trying to sell you what their body specifically looks like. So everything I'm doing is absolutely free. I'm going to give you the training. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm eating. I'm going to show you how to calculate macros, which I have before. I have a video for that. So if you haven't checked it out and you're curious how to calculate calories, macros, all these things, recipes, I'm doing everything for free right here on YouTube. And that is very important to me because I think more people need to lean into it. And I think also more people need to be helping with it. When I say leaning into it, I just mean your wellness journey in general and taking care of yourself. I think if more of us came together and just helped each other, and I'm not saying there's a lot of people that is their living, right? Like that is their absolute living, but I don't like the sales pitches and the crazy marketing for people not to get results and to just quit. So that's why I built the discipline diaries as like the prelude to this training program that you are going to get every single visual exercise. And don't worry, there is a trailer coming soon that's going to explain exactly what it is. And I'm going to talk to you all about it as well. So you need to catch up on the macro counting video. Never tried that personally. Yeah. So it's one of those things that can be very daunting. And I talk about this a little, right? Like there's a lot that come together with a wellness journey or fitness journey, whatever you want to call it. I like calling it wellness because overall wellness matters so much, right? To show up to your life the way that you want to. And it's like getting to the gym or getting to a workout, even if it's at home. And then there's the nutrition side, right? And usually the hardest thing is the nutrition because we just don't know. But plus, we're surrounded by a ton of processed food, easy food selections too. And like, yes, I have eaten processed foods and like I'm not perfect, but I do calculate my macros. I do make sure I'm finished eating when I feel 80% full. I don't continue to surpass that, but it can seem daunting, but that is the most specific guaranteed way to get to your goals faster is if you're actually calculating what your specific body needs. And that video is under, I believe it says like macro counting, and there's 3 recipes I put in there too, but I'll actually pull up and it's a screen share of how to calculate your calories and your macros all for free. And I walk you through it. And you just need to know just so you're like your demographics, your height, weight, age, and how active are you. So of course, if you pair a good nutrition plan, make sure it's paired with a training plan as well, because you want movement and good nutrition to come together to get you to the results that you need. It's not rocket science. That's why when it comes to the fitness world, I wish I wish sometimes I saw something different, so I'm creating something that's different, which is free, and there are some other people that do that too. They'll put workouts on here for free, which is really awesome. Instead of selling these like crazy programs and like, this is what I look like, just buy this. Doesn't mean you're going to get the results exactly that you want. But again, the important part about the discipline diaries, again, being the prelude, is the fact that it builds up the mentality piece and all the little pieces together, like how to utilize your time, how to time block, how to not rely on motivation or willpower to get something done, right? This all matters because when you go into a training plan, and everything I'm coaching is hybrid training. So you're going to see lifting sessions, you're going to see different types of running sessions or cardio. So it's cardiovascular meets aesthetics, meets strength, meets endurance. It's an all around fitness program, excuse me, that anyone can benefit from. Granted, you are cleared by a doctor if you have any kind of injuries or pre-existing conditions where you can't do something, right? So this is like for the average person that has been cleared, because I'm not a doctor. I can't do that for you. But the reason why mental toughness matters is because when you're embarking on this wellness journey, there are going to be days when you're exhausted. There are going to be days where your work went too long, that your kids need so much from you. There is just always the variables. It's life, right? And it's a beautiful thing. That's another thing. Have perspective, right? We're blessed to be able to move. We're blessed to be able to eat food, right? And have access to it. Fresh water, things like that. Like there's so much to be happy for and grateful for. But when it comes to these hard days, because we have hard days, regardless of if it used to be harder back in the day, it's fine. This is where we're living now. We're living here in the here and now. So the biggest thing we can do for ourselves is be mentally tough. How do we do that, right? And if you, again, watch my video from today, it's a short 5 minutes, help a girl out, watch it, but also give me some feedback. What do you think from it? What are your takeaways? I love, because I answer every single comment. I come on these live streams, I answer every question that I can. And I make sure that these are packed because, again, these are things that I'm really, really passionate about. So I'm going to kind of go through like my notes that I made, but number one is obviously discipline over motivation. We talked about this on week 1, and I mention it all the time because I hate when I hear, I'm just not like motivated to do it. I just don't have the motivation. Like none of us do sometimes, and we do it anyways. And how do we get there? It's mentally tough. It's discipline. It's repeated good habits over a long period of time. And you've probably heard this too, right? Like, okay, habits are built. Have you ever heard it takes like 21 days to build a habit? That is absolutely garbage. Okay. It takes like 66 days to build a habit. And that comes from the 5 a.m. club. There's a lot of science behind that too. But 21 days, you might establish some thoughts and habits, but to actually do those for 66 days in a row, that is where the discipline comes in. And that's where it actually becomes a new habit in your brain, that it triggers other habits to come after it, which is where your habit stacking comes in. We talked about that on week 2, I believe. So all of this is going to come together into the hybrid training program that will be launched on here. Has an epic name, really good training program that I'm so excited to share with everyone. Absolutely free. And when I say that, when I say free, I'd rather say like at no cost, because it does cost you something. It's going to cost you time, energy, effort, showing up, consistency, discipline. It's going to cost you all of those intangible things. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the no one's clapping yet phase. And I talked about this today on my Sunday video, because this is where your identity starts to take hold, right? So the hardest thing anyone can deal with, at least in the scope of mental toughness, is working so hard and not seeing the fruits of your labor right away, right? No one's clapping. You have to do these things when no one is looking. You have to work your ass off when no one is looking, regardless of if it turns into anything. That's like me showing up to this, like I said earlier, and like 2 people show up, and guess what? I'm still showing up to do this, regardless if I'm not getting the results that I want right away. I've gone to the gym for a week straight, and this is just vague speaking, right? Like, okay, you go to the gym for a week straight, you're on your nutrition plan for a week, but like you haven't lost the 20 pounds you want to lose right away. So you get really discouraged. And there are a lot of people that will resonate with, because a lot of the clients, when I was working one-on-one, that is exactly what they would share. It wasn't quick enough. The results didn't happen fast enough. And the first thing I say, this is a little bit of a tough love approach, but some people need this, is that if it took you years to put on that weight, you cannot expect it to fall off in a week or 2, not even a month, maybe not even 2 months. It's going to slowly come off when you consistently show up and do the things that you need to do. It takes that discipline. It takes continuing to show up even when it gets hard, even when you don't want to. Sometimes you might be a little sick and need to slow down. That doesn't mean eat like garbage. If anything, that's the time you need to eat the best. Okay. But when there's no validation, there's no one clapping, you're not seeing the results you want right away, that is where that discouragement comes in. That is where we feel like we can quit. That is where most people quit. When we don't see the results, we just want to quit, right? Because it's too hard at this point. It's not working, right? Oh, it's not working. I'm just not good at this. I'm just too old. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is. I don't have time. I'm too old. I don't have money. I just don't have the time for this. It's not working. Um, all right. Are we good? Okay, cool. So, emotionally regulating without quitting. You can feel frustrated, tired, angry, overwhelmed, and still not quit. Okay. So, this is a skill. Talk about how you've learned to ride. Like, tell me in the comments, when have you felt that like the world was pulling you under, that things were getting really hard? What did you do to get out of that? Like, you need to learn to ride the waves, right? Even when it feels like it's pulling you back. You got to learn how to do that. But this is um, not making decisions based on emotion. Make them based on your identity. What would your future self do when I am tired, when I want to quit, when it's been a hard day already, when I'm feeling unmotivated? Okay, that's great. Good for you, right? But you need to look at yourself and be like, who's the person I'm trying to be? What would my future version of myself, who is the ideal person I'm trying to be? And what would they do in this situation? And then you show up as that person. Every decision that comes that way, every emotional thing you've been through, continue to ask yourself that question and show up as the answer to who that person is. Your identity is everything and is like the one of the things that no one can take from you is your identity, and you get to choose who you want to show up as. So choose wisely. Okay. We also talked about keeping promises to yourself. The small ones matter the most. So, what could this look like? Okay. I committed to drinking X amount of water a day. I committed to eating healthy and meal prepping 2 times a week. I committed to taking a walk with my dog or my kids or my family, whatever, 3 times a week. Going to the gym 5 times. Like, I can tell you. And then it could be some big things like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and post one long form a month. And then maybe it's two a month, right? But you keep those small promises. If you put it on paper, hold yourself accountable, right? So if any of you follow me on Instagram, I did make a group on there because I am going to be starting 75 Hard in the beginning of May at the same time that I'm launching my very exciting new program, because I'm going to be doing it alongside of everyone. So it's one of those things, right? I'm holding myself accountable by blasting it on the internet and doing it along with my friends too. Because guess what? They're going to hold me accountable. I'm going to hold myself accountable. And now anyone who is following along on the journey and wanting to participate as well, guess what? They're now holding me accountable as well. So if you need to write it or tell someone that you trust who's going to hold you to it, I suggest doing that. Accountability is one of the biggest things when people are looking for a coach. That is what they're lacking, is the accountability. They don't know how to keep a promise to themselves. They don't know how to make a decision that's not based on emotion. And that's going to save you so much, is when you're not doing everything based on emotion and how you feel in the moment, right? Because our feelings are there. They're there for a reason. Sometimes they're guarding us. Sometimes it's our brain protecting us from something. But you can keep going. Your mind is going to quit before your body physically does. And again, I always lean a lot of things into fitness and wellness because I'm super passionate about this, but this is in all areas of your life. Whether it's career, it's family, like, hey, I need more family time, like, or I want more date nights. I want at least a date night once a month or something, like something if it's for relationships you're trying to grow, whatever those goals are that you have, like, don't give up, because we're already a quarter way through the year, by the way. Like, let me tell you, 2025, we're already 25% done with it. What have you done in this last 25%? What have you done? Have you gotten everything out of it? If not, I hope this serves as a wake-up call for you to show up and do some of the things you said you were going to do this year. Don't just wait till next year. Don't just wait for never. Because life gets really comfortable. Life gets really easy for us, right? We're not like in the middle of some crazy war, knock on wood. We're not running away from bears and tigers like we used to, right? Like, things are a little easy. Like, it's kind of easy. There used to be like kids that were 16-year-olds signing up for freaking war. I mean, like, people getting shot at, every day. Like, there are things happening out there. Don't let these little decisions like mix you up on your goals and what's truly difficult. Okay. So show up, keep the promises to yourself, choosing growth over comfort. Okay. That's another really, really fun one for me. And remember, guys, I'm going to be here for like a tight 30 minutes or so. So be sure to drop all your questions you have in the live chat so that I can answer them. I haven't gotten really anything yet, which is so sad. But I also understand that sometimes we just want to listen, right? We just want to listen. What's going on? People are busy. It's like almost Easter next week. So I don't know. Maybe people celebrated a week early. I have no idea how that works anymore. I don't know what people do. But real toughness isn't ego lifting or flexing on other people. It's just not an ego battle. Okay. It's not about ego. It's being humble enough to show up, to do the hard things when no one's watching, when no one's cheering, no one's clapping. That is when we make these hard decisions. And I keep harping on that. So sometimes the harder right is better than the easier wrong. We're building character, right? What kind of character you want to build? Like not even just character, but your identity. What are you building? Again, identity. If you do not watch my 5-minute video I posted today, please do, because I talk about this. Talk about my personal experience with corporate America, military, assertiveness, and like how I was mentally tough. And then I still consider myself very mentally tough now. There's a lot of things I'm doing and stacking on my plate that even I'm just like, I have people tell me, how the heck do you do it all? I'm like, I don't know sometimes, but I'm doing it. So showing up, working through burnout without spiraling. Here's a good one. So this is like being mentally tough doesn't mean you're like ignoring the fact that you're burning out, right? It's pretty obvious. You're fatigued. Because I reached like about a week ago, I had a couple trips like back to back. If you watch my other video, I talk about that, right? I felt the burnout because there's a lot of deliverables. Moving around, like flights like that are just like when you're traveling, it just takes everything out of you sometimes. You're also in different elevations, flights, there's a lot of germs in these places, it's just a lot that your body's going through, moving you around to different places. But it's recognizing the burnout and knowing when to take a step back and recover. What do you got to do? Is it reading a book to you? Is it like taking a walk? Is it getting some air? Sometimes you just need some sunlight. Like I was gardening this week because that is what brings me some peace. Is like, let me just put some flowers. Let me take care of something like this. Let me spend some time with my family this weekend. Things that are really going to fuel you back, but recognizing it and not ignoring burnout. But you got to work through it in a sense. You might have to slow down, but you don't have to give up, right? Slowing down is okay, but not all the time, right? Like don't fake a burnout either, because again, this stuff is happening when you truly burn out. It's typically, for me, it's when I'm on my own. It's like I feel the burnout, like the weight of the world, just like because I'll take care of everything I need to do, family, this, that, cook the dinner, do the things, right? And then it's in the silent moments where I'm like, wow, I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders. So how do I work through this? Talk about balance, right? Balance, is it a real thing? Is it not? I think balance is a valid idea, but I don't think it truly exists. I think that balance is this crazy idea that we give ourselves, that because you're never going to be able to give 50-50 to everything, right? Like, oh, my family gets 50%, my business gets the other 50%. That's balance. That's work-life balance. It's just not a thing. And if you guys have seen the movie or the show Severance, it kind of talks about like work-life balance in this really twisted way. Freaking wild. If you've seen Severance, let me know in the comments because that shit was wild. Great show. Also from a cinematic perspective, absolutely gorgeous work. But that would be terrifying to actually go through the severance process, but there isn't a true balance. There are some days when the business gets a little bit more, and there's days where the family's going to get more because they deserve that from me, right? So, but there's a usually when my son's at school, that is when I am cranking out work. That is when I'm filming, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing all these things so that in the evenings, sometimes there's still work. So there are some evenings where work is going to get 60% of me that day or 70%. But I do make sure that, thanks for the heart, whoever that was, appreciate it. But it doesn't mean never resting, right? There's going to be days where something gets 70%, something gets 30%. You just need to make sure to balance those out. So it's not like, 4 weeks in a row of, your family getting 30% of you. That's not the balance that you're looking for. So balance is very hard, especially when you just get started on your fitness journey. Exactly. Balancing it in, timing. When can I do this? I made it a non-negotiable for me. So I know that I don't have any meetings scheduled early in the morning. So when I drop my son off at school, guess what? Gym time or run time. So when it starts getting hotter, which it is, I'm gonna have to start doing my run in the morning, because running in the blazing heat isn't fun. Because if I have to wait till the afternoon, it's gonna be like a walk or a jog. You know what I mean? But I'm going to get my movement in, because I'm starting to get back to 2-a-days. Especially as I'm moving into 75 hard, I'm prepping myself to do that again. So so again, just working through the burnout doesn't mean never resting. It doesn't mean when you're tough, you never slow down and you ignore it and blah blah blah. No. So do you run a specific set of miles? So I usually run time. So I'm going to start doing miles, or like, okay, I'm going to do a tempo run this day. If I'm just doing like a steady state right now, which is like what I'm doing, usually it's like just a 30-minute run at a specific pace for me. And I track everything on like my Whoop, so I'll know how hard my effort is. And I will talk a lot about this band too. I got it back in like 2021 when I was doing bodybuilding, and I just like love it because they keep enhancing the features that are on here. I can track my sleep. It tells me when I need to recover. It tells me my stress levels, my resting, heart rate, the REM sleep I got, a lot. And now it just started doing steps too, because I wear this all of the time. So it has so much to it that I absolutely love. But yeah, as far as running a specific set of miles, I'm just going for time right now. And then I'm going to start implementing, okay, a sprint day. This is going to be more of a long distance day. This is a tempo. This is a recovery run. And all of this is going to be very specifically set in the programming that is absolutely free to everyone on YouTube, on my channel, coming very soon. So, and it's something that you can start at any time of the year, any year. It's not something you need to start at this day. It's not like a challenge where we're all going to do it and then someone wins something. Like, no, this is at any point. You can start it, you can end it, you can come back to it. And it's a phased approach. So, and I'll talk more about it. I'm getting way too ahead of myself. I'm getting super excited, but it is a phase 1 essentially. So you can do this for 3 to 4 weeks, this entire program that I'll give out. And then once that's over, I'll explain the rest. And again, there's no cost. So I don't want to hear that as an excuse, because it costs you nothing but time, effort, sweat, tears, blood, whatever it takes, right? Hopefully not blood. That's not in the planned right now. But okay. And somewhat last, what I wanted to talk about, as we're running kind of short on time, is the difference between quitting and pivoting. I've pivoted a lot in my life, and I call it more of like adapting, being resilient to changing circumstances, changing environments. I think that's extremely important to know that you don't need to stick to a plan that's not working, right? If you identify that a plan isn't working, like my corporate job was not working, okay, the rest of my life was not working because my corporate job was not working for me, right? I was not my happiest self. I was not whole in any sense. I was doubling. Again, I talked about this in my video that I dropped. It's only 5 minutes. Please watch it because it's incredible. But I was during the day, I was a manager of a facility. By evening, I was doing the influencer thing. I was coaching people. I was, creating content, posting it, all this stuff. And I was exhausted, right? But I was doing it because I saw the potential, didn't really think it was possible. I thought I was going to have to double live my life forever. And not that I was 2 different people, but I was doing 2 very different things at different hours of the day, right? But it was just pivoting. So I learned to pivot when I didn't need to throw in the towel necessarily on my personal goals. Instead, I found a way to make it work. How can I do this at the same time as my job, build up enough income so I can leave? That was a huge pivot in my life, the biggest pivot. I've been gone now for a year. And it's insane, but I don't, think of it as, oh, I quit my job because I couldn't do it anymore. It's like, no, because I realized that I could do so much more with my life. That I could really lean into it. And now it's like I'm I'm showing and explaining to other people how to do this too. And I'm just saying you need to quit your job. Some people love their job. That's awesome. I didn't love mine. That's why. Okay. Like, don't just quit your job if you like it. Right. But you can for sure talk about, maybe different hours, or like nearing the end of it. I actually started leaving a little bit earlier so I could get gym time and not have my son at his after school so long. So there's conversations that can't be had. So definitely take advantage of those different things. Know where your boundaries are, what are your non-negotiables in life. And then the mental toughness is the showing up when you don't want to do those things. So that is that. But I don't see too many questions today, which is totally fine. I just wanted to come on here because I did commit to this, and I love being able to answer the questions for everyone that you have. But Please play this back if you were not able to make it. Obviously, if you weren't here, you're not going to hear me say that. So that's cool. I'm glad I'm saying that. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing I want you to take away is that when you believe that I'm the type of person who does XYZ or who is XYZ, you act differently. You show up differently to your life. So, again, the biggest takeaway is your identity. That is the secret. I don't even want to say secret. That is the ticket. That is the golden ticket to mental toughness, is knowing who you are and doing the hard things on the days when you really don't want to, when shit hits the fan, when it gets hard and heavy, and you show up and you do the things. That is mental toughness, okay? That's who you are. Who do you want to be? What is your identity? That is your work this week, okay? Please. So, and it's okay to have an identity shift, okay? So if you were the person that was like super involved in your corporate job, and now it's like, I want to be the person who's a content creator. I just want to be a coach. I want to be the best mom or dad or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. Like, I just want to be the best, whatever. Cool. Your identity can shift. Just make sure there's some of it that's for you, right? What are those non-negotiables for you? But take it easy, everyone. Thank you for being here. Love you guys. You are built to perform. You are amazing. And I'll be seeing you every week. I'm always here. So please leave a comment. And if you loved this, please write a comment after it closes, because for some reason they go away. And I think there's a lot of value to be had here in this community, especially with all the free programming I'm about to push out. So please share this with your friends if they're interested in getting a program that they have to pay $0 for. That'd be awesome. But I love you guys. Have the best rest of your weekend and an amazing week ahead. Mondays are the best day. Reset. This is a Sunday reset. Set your intentions for the week. Who do you want to show up as, and do it.